wheelchair, Joe Beedon. And as a opponent making his professional debut tonight, from Sydney in Kent, Shannon. The second contest this evening is in the lightweight division, consisting of 4 3-minute rounds. First introducing to the red corner, wearing the black and gold shorts. At today's weighing scale, 9 stone, 7 pounds and 8 ounces, taking part in his 7th professional fight tonight, from Swindon in Wiltshire. Let's hear it for Joe Beedon. As opponent in blue corner, wearing the blue and red shorts. At today's weighing scale, 9 stone, 10 pounds and 7 ounces. Making his professional debut tonight, from Sydney in Kent. Let's hear for Shannon. 4 3-minute rounds, referee Carl Jocelyn will give his final instruction.
Seconds out, first round.
So we have second fight of the evening, and we have the pro debut of Shannon. versus Joe Beedon. And again, Josh, what do you know about either fighter?
I know he trained at a Gumshield amateur gym as an amateur, and I thought he was meant to make his debut not that long ago, but his opponent got stuck on the motorway and his fight was cancelled.
Oh wow, okay.
So this is a rearranged fight, so hopefully he gets to win for his supporters this time.
He's trained by pro Ryan Barrett as well, so it'll be interesting. Ryan can pass on some tips to him, and he seems to have settled quite well for his pro debut. And Joe Beedon himself is a fairly new pro himself. Obviously six fights so far, and this is his 7th today. Hasn't won any as of yet, but you know, he is a game boy, and he's certainly having a go here, knowing that it's Shannon's debut. I think he's trying to ask a few questions.
That's the job of what you want after your debut. You don't want to complete journeyman, otherwise you don't learn anything.
Well, that's true, Josh. Yeah, I know it's. You know, I know some people think that it's good to just knock out people straight away, but part of the journeyman scene and the whole culture of it is to get the learning fights and the experienced people. So it's, he seems a little bit tentative at the moment, Shannon. And
that's to be expected on his debut.
I always say you can never really tell how good a pro is going to be on his debut. There's so much to take into consideration. The no head guard, the no vest, and
a lot of adaptations need to be made, don't it? So you can't really judge him, but give him time.
And things down to ticket sales as well. They probably never had to worry about ticket sales. In the run up to this, he had to sell tickets as well. Nice double jab there, right hand, and then left hook to the body. So he's trying to vary it up, old Shannon. Both fighters' heads are quite still though, quite static from both, and Shannon the same. You see his head is very, very static at the moment. I'd like to see him perhaps just bend his leg, just trying to move his head laterally a bit more. And
hopefully that will come out once he settles down to the second, third rounds. Just got to give him time. But he's looking a bit nervous, I thought.
Yeah, he's looking a bit nervous. He got caught with the left hook there. Beedon dips down and throws the left over the top. And nice shot there from Shannon. It's a bit of a lottery there. They look like they're both going to trade. And Beedon's having a go, Josh. He's coming. He's
taking him into his type of fight. Though. I think Shannon likes to box more than fight, so he needs to get behind his jab and work behind that.
And I think it's an interesting fight for it as well. Beedon obviously had 6, hasn't won any yet. There must be a bit of frustration for him as well. And against the debutant, I think he thinks that if he's going to get a win, this could be the opportunity. And while he's coming out a bit more and asking a few more questions.
He's obviously going to win his first win, so that's definitely a possibility.
So he's not an experienced journeyman, Beedon, so not saying he is in that category yet, but so I think that's why it's a bit more than perhaps the last fight we see, where the journeyman more like to tie up and that. Beedon's having a go, and
it's a very tough. Beedon's very tough and never not been stopped being kept down in any of his fights so far, I believe. So
no, he's not had the best start to his career as Beedon. Obviously, he has hasn't picked up a win yet, and the guys he's fighting haven't necessarily been great boys, but it looks kind of game. And how'd you score that one so far? Are you scoring it to Shannon?
Shannon just edged it.
Seconds out, round 2.
So here we are, round 2. Again, we have Michael Shannon on his debut versus Joe Beedon, and Josh scored that just for Shannon in the first round, perhaps just getting the cleaner work. And it was certainly a close round, Josh. It wasn't like he fully got hold of it, but I think you're right. I think he got through the cleaner work, but it's Beedon at the moment that's taking the centre of the ring this far in the round, Josh. He's the one that seems to be coming forward, Beedon.
He looks very strong, Beedon. So maybe we'd like to see Shannon work behind the jab more, double it up, move. Don't get into a fight what Beedon wants.
And you can see perhaps there, you can see just the little movements from Beedon, just showing his experience a little bit more. Okay, he hasn't won any, but he has had, this is his 7th fight. So he's been on the circuit for a little while, and he's picked up a few tips from the journeyman who's been fighting. Nice right hand to the body there. Again, Shannon looks just a little bit nervous today, looks a little bit upright, not much movement from him.
So all nerves on the debut, as you said earlier. It's the tough. You can't really judge anyone on their debut.
Yeah, it's difficult. There's a lot to take in, and he's sold a few tickets. You see when he was introduced, Josh, as well, and that's added pressure as well. It's but again, it's a very tentative start to the second round, and not a lot of action, and not a lot to talk about at the moment.
I think Shannon's just waiting that a bit too long to get his punches off. He needs to be quicker to the mark, I think.
Yeah, totally agree. And it's Beedon this round that's coming forward and taking the centre of the ring and asking a few questions this time. And it's.
I think Shannon needs to up his work rate, because I think Beedon's edging this round so far.
Yeah, and it depends on how you score the first round as well. Beedon obviously got a couple in as well. I mean, we had it Shannon just ahead, but you could make an argument perhaps as an equal round in the first round. And if obviously Beedon wins this round, which in my opinion he's doing a little bit more this round so far, then he's got it all to do, Shannon, as it goes on. But it's a little bit better from him, trying the inside, catching with the left hook. Nice double jab there. His corner calling him forward, and I think you're right, Josh, just as you were saying, I think he's waiting a little bit too long, a little bit tentative, and his corner wanting to come forward and initiate the attacks.
I think Shannon needs to gain Beedon's respect, and I don't think he has that quite yet, so I think that's very important. So maybe sits down on his punches a bit more, try and back up Beedon more and get him on the ropes.
And again, I'd like to see him just establish that jab, just get that jab going. A couple of shots on the inside there from Beedon, a right hand and a left uppercut, which caught Shannon, but he took it well. He didn't seem problem by it.
He's caught by a few left hooks now, so he needs to maybe watch out for that shot.
Other thing I would say about Shannon as well is he seems to carry his hands really high. He looks really, really open to the body. I wonder if Beedon or his corner have noticed it. It seems that, Shannon's up protecting his head, but if you look how high his elbows are, that his body looks really, really open there. Oh, it's a good exchange there. I think Beedon got the better of the left hook there, but Shannon wasn't afraid to stand and trade with him there. But and the end of the second round, Josh, how have you scored that one? A much closer round there.
I'd say Beedon just edged that in my books.
So you've got it 1 each at the moment.
How do you have it?
Yeah, the same. I think Shannon did enough in the first round, and I think Beedon certainly asked more questions there. So yeah, 1 apiece. Interesting, setting up for a nice fight.
Seconds out, round 3.
It's round 3 of Shannon versus Beedon, and we've got it 1 round apiece at the moment. And the first round being close, and this is Shannon's debut, and he's a good amateur, Shannon, so he's come from a good pedigree. I know he was a junior ABA finalist, and he was a golden belt novice finalist as well, so he has been around the circuit a little bit, but I know if he does go on to fight for titles, I've seen him say that he'd like to drop down to super feather, and he does look like he could go down to super feather.
I think that's something he should look at a lot sooner than later, to be honest. I think Beedon's looking a bit too strong for him at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's, the super feather could be a better category for him, and obviously his team have talked about that, for the fact that he's talked about it as well. So it's in mind, and it's not unusual for a pro debut to be slightly higher than what they end up at. So nice right hand there from Shannon. He's trying that right hand a little bit more on this one. The first one landed, the second one was a little bit short, but he certainly started a little bit more aggressive this round, Shannon. It was a nice right hand to the body there.
Best start to a round so far. He's edging at the moment.
And he's taking the centre of the ring. And
good right hand there for Shannon.
But that's where Beedon wants it. Some hooks went in there, and Beedon got the better of the right hand there.
Hook his jab up when that happens. He doesn't want to be into a fight. That's what Beedon wants.
That's the thing. Shannon looks like the boxer type. It looks like he prefers to be on the outside, but he just doesn't seem busy enough with the jab just to keep Beedon at bay. Because there's no jabs coming out, Beedon seems to be able to just work his feet in.
Not seeing him doubling and tripling the jab up at the moment.
Yeah, just to keep him busy, really. If you watch Beedon as he's moving, he gradually works his way closer and then springs into attack. And if Shannon throws that jab out and keeps him busy, it should stop him from moving his feet in closer. But I think he's doing better this round, Shannon. He's a bit more aggressive, and maybe he's warming into it. Into his 3rd round of his pro debut.
He's finding the net nose are finally settling. He's showing his true boxing ability now, which is quite nice to see.
Oh, it's a nice right hand and left uppercut from Beedon again, rocking his head back. Doesn't seem hurt, Shannon, but took them shots well. And it depends. It's a case of what you like. Shannon perhaps is being a little bit more busier, but the cleaner shots seems to be from Beedon.
He needs to tighten up his defence, really. I'm surprised Beedon hasn't looked out for the body. As you said, those elbows are mighty high, so maybe that'll be coming into effect soon.
Yeah, but perhaps it's because Beedon's not that experienced as well. It's a good exchange there. Some hooks widening, none of them getting through, all on the arms. A nice defence there from Beedon, but it's a little bit more aggressive from Shannon, which is nice to see. Just like to see him from there. Just throw that jab just like that. That's a lovely jab. Just to keep him busy from there. And that's all he's got to do, is just keep that jab out, keep him busy. Beedon looks like they're very much counter-puncher, looking to raid after Shannon lets his shots go.
He draws him in, doesn't he? Then just puts the right hand over the top of the left hook. You can see he's having a lot of success with it, to be fair.
Yeah, lovely right hand down of it. That's much better from Shannon, and more from what we expect from someone with a pedigree, that he's got. It was a lovely right hand, straight down the middle that caught him there, and perhaps enough to swing in the round, Josh.
I gave that to Shannon there, like 2-1.
Your second, third,
Seconds out, 4th and final round.
What time's that one, do you know? No.
Okay, round 4, and you've got it 2 rounds to 1 to Shannon.
It's a very close fight though, so
it's kind of what you like, isn't it? You score what you kind of like, and Beedon's perhaps been the, you know, he's got the cleaner shots through and at times been busier, but Shannon in that last fight did try a little bit more, and a good exchange there, both landing shots and hooks. Again, getting that jab, Shannon, this round, and looking to establish himself a bit more, but
I'd like to see him double that jab up though, the single ones.
yeah, well, the right hand straight down the middle worked for him in the last round, and obviously caught him. He looked for it there. I'd like to, like you say, see the double jab and then throw the right hand behind it, see if he can catch Beedon. Beedon works his feet in, so that double jab right hand kind of, he leans back, Beedon. He's got nowhere to go if he leans too far back, so the double jab right hand, I think, would work quite well for him. But no one's done anything as of note so far in this round, and Beedon's running around looking like he thinks he's ahead of the fight. And
it's a lot better from Shannon. His work rate's been up, going down to the body now, so it's like to see.
I think he's, yeah, from round 3 in this round, he seems to have upped his work rate and taken a little bit more chances. I think he was a bit quiet in the first 2 rounds, but he's certainly having a bit more of a go in the. Okay, nice left hook there from Beedon.
He's been catching that all night, to be fair. He needs to see that coming now.
Yeah, Beedon likes that raiding counter punch, doesn't he? He likes to, as you say, draw him in and then explode into shots. And it doesn't seem like he's got much power, Beedon, or not necessarily knockout power. Whereas he maybe could have asked a few questions of Shannon, but again, Shannon's in control. He's trying to walk him down and trying to establish his jab. And
just got to be careful with the counter left hook and right hand, and again he tries to throw it there and he misses.
That's it, keeping busy with the jab there. Nice one too. Got an left hook there, rocking Beedon back. This is better from Shannon, much better.
Crowd again right behind that boy now.
Left hook there, and okay, it's a nice right hand from Shannon. Beedon's calling him in, and he's got to be a little bit careful, Shannon. It's nice to see him a bit more aggressive, but he's got to be careful that he doesn't get too excited with the crowd and walk onto a shot, because Beedon is throwing them wild swings around, and it only takes 1 shot, Josh, in the pro ranks to change a person's night, and there's no fairy tales. These boys will beat you whether it's your debut or not, so it's you know, he's just got to be a little bit careful. But
Beedon stepped off the gas a little bit this round. He's throwing less shots, but
yeah, he's almost fighting this round, Beedon, as if he's ahead.
Yeah, he's close to victory.
Yeah, he looks like he's you know, it's good movement from Beedon, and
I'm really surprised about Beedon's record. He's got a lot of good head movement, throws a nice few shots.
I was going to say the same thing, Josh. I mean, you know, he looks like he does a lot of things quite well. His timing's off and that from there, but he moves well, and that's in the round. How did you score that?
3 rounds to 1 in favour of Shannon.
Shannon. So Josh scores it 3 rounds to 1. Yeah, I think it's the same. I kind of agree with it, but you can make an argument if it's a little bit closer, but I think Shannon's done enough to get the win, and we'll see where he goes from here. It is his pro debut. I thought he did quite well. But him and his team will take the video home from today, and they'll work on it from there.
After he settled down in the first round, and the 3rd and 4th round, I think his true ability showed.
Yeah, much better. 3rd and 4th round, he was much more the fighter we expect him to be with his pedigree, and yeah, let's see if he gets the win.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, referee Clark Jocelyn has scored the contest 39 points to 38. Your winner from Sydney in Kent, Michael Shannon.
So 39-38, and as you scored it, Josh, there was obviously a shared round there as well, but Shannon didn't do enough to get the win, and he can go on from here and look to improve and go from there.
You're not arguing that score, Carl. I think that's about as fair. They're all close rounds, but I did think Shannon did edge it.
Yeah, I think he did enough, and like you say, they'll take the video away from here and look at it, but I'm looking forward to his next fight and see how he progresses over the next few fights.